calling all my footy fans from all around the globe. Straight out of NYC, this is The Line Breaker. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pano, and welcome back to The Line Breaker. I just told you my name. The guy sitting next to me, what's your name?
My name is Demetri, aka Juicy.
He really has to be saying it like that. I wish you guys could see him right now. But we're bringing another episode for you. This time, this is the Thursday before the Premier League kicks on back. We have plenty of fixtures to go through. We're going to do previews of all the matches, giving you guys our picks. So we're really excited to give these to you guys. Demetri has been waiting to do this all week. So how about we just get right to it? First things first, though, Demetri. Is this the week that Arsenal pushes on for their title charge, like you think they will?
They are playing Everton this week. I think it will be a much easier win than it was the last couple of weeks.
I mean, you mean relegation battle Everton?
Yes. Much easier this week compared to the previous 2 weeks.
I mean,
2 games.
But it's Everton.
Yeah, I know. They might put up 5.
Everton might put up 5.
No.
All right, so, well, there you have it. Arsenal is going to be marching on towards their title starting this week. Should we just take a look at the first fixture?
Wolves versus Liverpool.
Wolves versus Liverpool.
Yes.
Okay. You take it away. You said it, but you take it away.
I think we're going to see another big margin of victory here. But for
Wolves.
Liverpool. No.
Oh, that's awkward. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
For Liverpool.
My bad, sorry.
You could write this down. Mo Salah scoring in this game.
I could see Mo Salah scoring a hat trick.
I can see that as well. Wasn't this your relegation pick, or am I wrong?
Wolves are my relegation pick. I think they're going to get spanked up too. For reference, it's not looking too good for Wolves right now. When we're looking at expected goals against, I mean, Wolves, they're, let's just say they're towards the top of the table. And by that I mean they are 4th to last. They are, what is that, 2019-18? 2019-18-17. They're 17th place for expected goals against, whereas your boys Liverpool are not quite high up, but look, they're getting into goal scoring form recently. As you said, they had a big win before the international break. I can see Salah scoring a hat trick. I can see Darwin Nunez getting a couple in this one. I think it could get ugly, and I think it could get ugly very quickly.
I think Darwin is hurt.
You're right.
But Van Dijk is also suspended for this game, correct?
It is, but it's not going to matter when they put up 5.
Well, yeah, it won't matter.
And Wolves are bad. Wolves are not good this year. Watch, I'm going to say this and it's going to end in like a draw or something. My prediction, I'm going to go with a 5-2 Liverpool win. How do you feel about that?
No, I think it's going to be a 4-0 or a 4-1, and if I had to pick, I would say 4-1, Liverpool.
Yeah, but Liverpool's defense was already looking pretty shaky this entire period up until this point in the season. Without their captain, Virgil van Dijk, in the back, you think that they still keep a clean sheet?
No, I said 4-1 if I had to pick.
You said 4-0 first.
Those were my 2 choices, but then I said if I had to pick, I would say 4-1.
You need to make up your mind.
4-1.
All right, 4-1. 5-2 and 4-1. Let's see who gets closer. I'm going to go with me. We should start putting this down. We should see who. So one of my favorite podcasts that I used to listen to, that it's in a different kind of form now. It was the Tifo Football podcast. They used to do something called Points Are Bad. And they would only do it during international tournaments. So for reference, they did it for the World Cup. And basically, the premise of the game was you wanted to get as close to the score as possible, points wise. And the more points you had by the end of the tournament, the worse you were. So points were bad. That's the point of the game. We should look into doing that from here on out for the Premier League. It might be too late now because the season started, but I'm talking too much, right?
When do you not talk too much?
Anyway, so it looks like we're in agreement. Overwhelming Liverpool victory. Again, Liverpool's underlying metrics are starting to look way better for them. Obviously, they had the big one against Aston Villa. They did overperform their expected goals against Newcastle, but they were pretty healthy against Bournemouth. So it's looking good for Liverpool. They're in good form. And even though they don't have Nunez, they have Mohamed Salah not in Saudi Arabia, and that's big for them. So definitely going for a Liverpool victory. We're in agreement there. Let's go with the next one. I'm going to take this myself. We got Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. That is another early kickoff on Saturday. I think this is going to be a good game.
I think it's a toss-up.
You think so?
I think so, but I have a winner in this one.
You do have a winner. Okay, well, before we get to the winner, let's just look at how both teams are doing. I know we did a roundup, basically, of all the teams in an earlier episode, or we basically just finished it. But Aston Villa are sitting in 10th right now, and Crystal Palace are in 7th. Roy Hodgson is having the Eagles playing free like America. I'm going to stop myself there. He's got the Eagles playing free-flowing footy. They have, how many points? They got 7 points. So the Eagles are looking good. And I'm not talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, who we may or may not be watching right now. But Eagles are looking good. They're playing good footy. You know, they're being led by, their linchpin in their midfield, Eberiche Eze, great player. And we have Aston Villa, who obviously overperformed everyone's expectations last year and are looking to kind of get back into it this year. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Obviously, Aston Villa led by big money signing Moussa Diaby for Bayer Leverkusen. I think Aston Villa got a good squad. I could see them winning this game. I'm going to go 2-1, Aston Villa.
You know, it's crazy. I actually agree on the scoreline and the team.
You said 2-1 Aston Villa?
I could see Aston Villa winning at home, edging Crystal Palace out.
You know what's... Wow, Demetri and I are actually... We've been on the same page lately. I don't know what's going on, man. This is weird. All right, so I think that one is... Even though we just talked about the Liverpool game being straightforward, we like Aston Villa to do well. Of course, one thing that we did mention about teams like Aston Villa who are in Europe for the first time in a long time this year is Europe could be very daunting for them. But for this fixture, look, they've had a little break, so I don't think that it'll be too detrimental to them. But later on in the season, they might start having issues with squad depth and stuff like that. So still a lot of stuff to happen there. But let's move on now. Probably the most boring fixture right now I guess boring depending on how you look at it. We got Luton Town and Fulham.
I think it's very exciting. I think we got a little relegation battle over here.
Another one of my picks too. Oh, actually both my picks. We just went through most of my picks in the first 3 games. And do I have any of them winning? Well, actually, I have to have one winning unless I take a draw right here. I could see a draw. I'm gonna let you talk. You talk.
Luton at Fulham. You know what? I think this is gonna be Luton's first points of the year. I can see them stealing a point away from home at Fulham.
I can see it also, honestly. They weren't terrible against Chelsea. Oh, well, I'm setting myself up there, aren't I? They weren't terrible. Luton away from home against Fulham. I think Fulham's going to get relegated. They got to drop points somewhere, right? Not every team is Manchester United. So I don't have too many horses in this race. I could see it being a score draw, 1-1. 1-1 draw. That's what I'm thinking. This is the part where you tell me, oh, I also have a 1-1 draw.
No, I actually have 2-2.
2-2? Whoa, free-flowing footy. Yes. Fulham is in 13th place, just below Chelsea. But, again, let's go by some metrics. How are both teams doing? Fulham is actually worse off expected points-wise than Luton. Fun fact. According to understat.com, Fulham by expected points are in 18th, whereas Luton are in 17th. So, I think that's a pretty good shout. I think draw is a pretty good shout. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 1-1 draw. Yeah, 1-1 draw. That's my pick. That's it. Done. We can move on from that one. Next game is gonna be fun. Manchester United, the Red Devils versus the Seagulls, Brighton and Hove Albion. It's going to be Scott McTominay versus the Scottish Xavi, Billy Gilmore. That's all I got for you.
I think this game is going to be very exciting. Looking at their previous matches and their previous results, I think, what was it? Man U lost to two of the big six teams in their 4 games, one being Arsenal and the other one being, was it
Tottenham?
Yes.
Correct.
And Brighton has been on a recent tear, although they did lose 3-1 to West Ham. I can see this being a 1-1 draw, but very exciting, a lot of chances, but ultimately finishing 1-1.
Fun fact here. Both Brighton and Manchester United are basically right there neck and neck with each other. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Brighton is 8th on expected points and Manchester United is 9th. So pretty close in their expected points metrics. Obviously, if you really want to look at things, Brighton leads the league in expected goals. Their XG is on another chart, or off the charts, I should say. They top even Manchester City when it comes to that. So, look, we have 6th versus 11th right here. But most importantly, we have a stable club versus whatever you want to call Manchester United. Do they even have any right wingers anymore?
They got right hooks.
Oh, gee. Wow, that one caught me. That was a stray that I was not expecting. Oh man. All right. Well, this is an Anthony list, a Mason Greenwood list, a Jadon Sancho list, unless he made up with Eric Ten Hag, which, according to all the things that I've been reading on Twitter, is a no-go. Apparently, Jadon Sancho refuses to apologize to Eric Ten Hag, and I'll go on a little tangent here. Eric Ten Hag came out after the last game where they lost to Arsenal, Manchester United, and said that Jadon Sancho wasn't in the squad because he was not performing up to the standard accepted in training. Jadon Sancho responded by angrily, basically, well, not angrily, but he defended himself on social media, saying that he's training up to the standard and that he's being scapegoated and there's other reasons behind why he's being left out of the squad. I'm Team Jadon Sancho here, okay? I think Manchester United is an absolute circus, and I'm going to side with the guy who looked like a world beater in the Bundesliga, because even though there is Bundesliga tax, he looked way too good in the Bundesliga for him to just look how he does at Manchester United. And obviously, Manchester United have a very, very bad reputation of not getting the best out of big money signings that they sign. So I'm Team Sancho on this one. Regardless, Manchester United is also going to be missing him. I believe Facundo Pellistri is the next guy up, who looked pretty good in preseason for them. He might start this game if they don't want to go with just veterans. I can only see this going one way. I think it's going to be another Brighton win. I love the way that Brighton's playing. I hate their administration, but I love the way that they play. And I think the Scottish Xavi is he's gonna be passing circles, running rings around those bums in the midfield. He's gonna make Casemiro look like I don't know. I had to come up with something clever. I didn't think of anything.
Score prediction?
I'm gonna go with a This is tough. 3-1.
Oh.
3-1 win. I think Højlund gets a goal. He's healthy, right? He is healthy. Yeah, he's healthy. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. Only positive, again, I feel like that's going to be the only positive of Manchester United season. Rasmus Højlund, I think, is going to get off the mark, get a big goal in his starting debut.
Okay.
You couldn't wait any longer to talk?
I'm ready to move on.
You don't want to give me a prediction?
I said 1-1.
Did you?
Yeah, I started off.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
I really love the sound of my own voice too much. I didn't even pay attention to that. You said 1-1? Why do you think it's going to be 1-1? You think it's going to be a tight game?
I said it's going to be very exciting, a lot of chances, but ultimately it's going to finish 1-1.
I'm trying to figure out where I missed that. I'm getting old.
Moving on. Next game, we have Tottenham at home versus Sheffield United. You want to start us off here?
This is a derby. I don't know what derby it is. It's a derby. It feels like it should be a derby. Tottenham, who is high flying at the moment. Postecoglou ball in full swing right now. Listen, I could only see it going one way. Sheffield United, rightly so, relegation candidates. And actually, Sheffield United are even worse than Fulham and Luton when it comes to expected goals. Let's go to expected points. They're also worse. They're second to last in expected goals, second to last in expected points, and second to last in expected goals against. Whereas Tottenham are high flying. I think this is the exact kind of team where Postecoglou's football will work, just because lower quality opposition. They haven't shown that they could defend well, even in deep blocks. So, I think it's going to be a sweat-free 2-0 win for Tottenham.
I agree that Tottenham's going to win. They're playing great ball. The players are behind the manager, and Ange Ball is just flying high. I think it's going to be a sweat-free win as well, but I have Tottenham winning 3-0.
3-0, okay. Oh, and I want to add, because he finally got off the mark during the international break, I think Richarlison is going to break his duck for the season. I think he's going to get a goal. That's how bad they are.
Set piece or no set piece?
No set piece. It's going to be another banger. It's going to be another bicycle kick or something. So that one's out of the way. I feel like we're breezing through this right now. And actually, we have 2 more fixtures left for Saturday. This is top 4. Absolute battle right here. Battle of 2 undefeated teams. West Ham United versus the Minnows Manchester City. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that West Ham, in great form, playing at home, might take advantage of the situation with Man City not having De Bruyne in the starting 11 or in the lineup at all. I can see West Ham stealing a point here. I'm going to say draw. 1-1 draw, and it's the first game where City drops points in the year.
So, an interesting thing about West Ham is that a couple of their wins so far, most notably being against Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea, they were absolutely demolished when it came to expected goals. But it's very clear at this point, and just the way that David Moyes historically has set up his teams, the teams that he's been successful with, not Manchester United, is that he doesn't really need to be, an XG merchant. He doesn't need to be a guy who gets a lot of chances to score goals. West Ham are a take the few chances that you have and make sure that they count kind of team. And that's what they've been rolling with so far this season. I don't see why it can't change this year. The only thing that really makes me think that they could still lose this game is it's Manchester City. We're talking about a team who can break down deep blocks, a team that is spearheaded by Erling Haaland. You really think that they could be shut down by West Ham?
I think so. Going back to what you said about West Ham's 2 big wins in the year against Chelsea and Brighton. Against Chelsea, they had 24% possession, and against Brighton, they had 22% possession, so they're obviously very comfortable playing without the ball at their feet, and as we know, Man City likes to dominate the ball in possession. So I think just being in that comfortable state, great form, I think they'll be able to steal a result, and they're playing at home as well.
I think that's fair. I'm going to disagree with you here. Just because the one thing, Erling Haaland, the guy who will consistently outperform his XG, which means he also takes the chances that he gets and then some. He turns half chances into good chances. I think that it won't be easy. I think they're going to sneak away with a 2-1 win.
Another late winner from City?
Not quite. I think actually they'll have some pressure piled up on them. I think Pep might actually have to squeeze this win out. Maybe playing a little bit tighter towards the end, but I think it'll be 2-1. It'll be a tight game. I think that City will go up quickly. West Ham will tie, and then City will just have to go ahead from there. And I think it's going to be Erling Haaland who brings them there. So final score 2-1 to the champions, the treble winners, Manchester City. Finally, to conclude, we have a tale of two teams right here. We have Brentford versus Newcastle. Brentford are high-flying this year. They lead the league in non-penalty expected goals. High-flying. Obviously, they are in 8th place only, but at the same time, they're doing very well. They're also 3rd overall for expected goals in general. So they're playing very well. They're spearheaded by Brian Mbeumo, who is not only 2nd in the Golden Boot race right now, but he also is 2nd for expected goals in the league. I'm going to be using metrics a lot just because underlying stats, you got to use both. You got to use eye test, you got to use underlying stats. Brian Mbeumo has been Brentford's best player, not named Ivan Toney. And Ivan Toney is more focused on other things right now. So I think Newcastle will continue their struggles, whereas I think Brentford will continue to play well. But I'm going to throw a little spanner in here. I think it'll be a draw, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I don't see Newcastle continuing to struggle. I think they sort of need this game desperately before the European football kicks off, I believe, in the middle of the week next week. So I think they need to secure 3 points at home and move on from there. But I also think it's going to be low scoring. I think Newcastle is going to edge out Brentford 2-1.
Listen, we could always disagree. There is just I'm not big on Newcastle. They're where they should be underlying metrics wise. They're not playing well in the league. And I think that European football is going to take its toll. Obviously, this kind of game is not going to be one of those times where the European football takes its toll because they haven't started it yet. But I think that there's going to be a little bit of a return to normalcy with this Newcastle team, and I think they're going to continue to drop points, although I think that they will get a draw here. I think Brentford will also stumble a little bit because maybe they'll come back down to normal a little bit. So I'm going to go with my my 2-2 draw that I said. Final answer there. That concludes our Saturday games. Now, first game of Sunday. Early kickoff. We have a relegation battle between Bournemouth and Chelsea. I'm going to let you start with this one.
I think this is one of the clearest things on the board over the weekend. Chelsea has been terrible all season. Reminding me of last season form. Things can't go right no matter who they bring in. They lose to Nottingham Forest, their previous match 2 weeks ago. I see a 1-1 draw. And Chelsea continues to struggle. How would you fix Chelsea without going on too much of a rant?
How would I fix Chelsea? We could do a whole episode on this. I disagree with Demetri on a lot of the things that he said, actually. I don't think that Chelsea has been as bad this year as he thinks they have been. And I'm really happy that other people are agreeing with me, by the way, because my boys Tifo Football just put out a YouTube video talking about how Chelsea aren't as bad as their metrics, or Chelsea aren't as bad as they look, and they use the underlying metrics to prove it. I've said it before, they're basically top 4 in all attacking metrics. The underlying stats say that they should be 3rd right now, not 12th. So what I'm hoping for, if I'm going to fix Chelsea for this game, I'm hoping, and I'm going to eat my words, and I'm going to throw my phone at the wall when I see that it's not like this. I'm hoping that they don't play Ben Chilwell at left wing. I hope that they go for something more attacking at left wing, and maybe even not play Levi Colwill at left back. If they could do those two things, I'm pretty confident that they will win this game. I can see them winning this game 3-1 like they did in the the fixture that they played against Bournemouth in the spring. So the second time they versed Bournemouth, they also won the game 3-1. Obviously, Bournemouth is at home, so they'll have the fans with them, but you would hope that Chelsea could start to really push along and start playing well, scoring some goals. Scoring some goals are a big thing. If they could get shots on target, I think that they could score goals in this game. And another fun fact for you, the top 3 for expected goals. Yes, expected goals in general, not just expected goals per 90. Expected goals in general. Top 3 in the Premier League, and we're talking about players, not individual players. We have Erling Haaland, number 1. Brian Mbeumo, number 2. And Nicholas Jackson, number 3. Nicholas Jackson, who only has 1 goal to his name, is underperforming his XG by almost 3 goals. Almost 3 goals. So he should be scoring more than he is. Now, I'm hoping he gets his shooting boots on for this game. I think we'll get a goal out of him. And maybe another double by Raheem Sterling. 3-1 win away at the Vitality Stadium. Final answer.
You don't think those metrics are a little skewed because they beat up on Luton and Raheem Sterling looked like Kylian Mbappe?
No, they're not. They're not. I don't think so. It's not, one game isn't gonna. I mean, obviously, I know it's
1 and 4 is kind of
1 and 4.
Skew it.
I haven't actually looked at them before, but they won the XG battle against West Ham. They should have beat West Ham. And honestly, if Enzo doesn't miss that penalty, you could argue it's a different game. It's 1-1. 1-1 when Enzo misses that penalty. I think that, that kind of can affect things. They also should have beaten Liverpool. And they should have beaten Nottingham Forest. So, there you go. And the Yankees won again. Playoff push in season. All right. So, yeah. I don't think it's just because they're beating up on Luton. They're going to win the game. I'm going to eat my words now. I hope they win. I really hope they win.
Final game on Sunday. Everton at home against Arsenal.
Yeah, Everton's going to finally break their duck.
You don't believe that?
Not really, but I mean, one can hope, right? You really want? Oh yeah, you do want Everton to get relegated. This is your relegation pick.
I don't want to. I know they are.
But Everton has been a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal in recent times. That is something that stats back up, and the eye test. They've been a bogey team for Arsenal in recent times.
Not this year. That's changing.
It's only been 4 games. How you going to say not this year?
They are going to comfortably beat them.
Who's going to score a hat-trick? Declan Rice?
Who said hat-trick? They're going to win. What did I say? 4-0, 4-1 earlier in the show? Or did I not give a score prediction?
I feel like you might have said 4-0. Maybe.
Anyway, it's going to be a breeze for Arsenal.
You think 4-0?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go with 5-0 Arsenal. No, but look, Everton's at home. They need a win. They've also, they've been huge underperformers for their expected goals. It's actually disgusting how bad they've been underperforming. They're another team. I'm just gonna be the stat guy, I'm just gonna whip that out. Everton should be higher in the table than they are. They should be comfortably mid-table from where they are. They shouldn't be in the relegation zone. So with that in mind, the other thing is that they're not too bad when it comes to expected goals against, and expected points would put them not at 18th. Expected points would again put them comfortably at mid-table at 10th. Comfortably mid-table at 10th. Yeah. Yep, 3-6-9, 12. Yeah, 3-6-9. So, I think this is going to be a much tougher game than you think. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I think an early Arsenal goal is going to open up the floodgates, and then 2 will come, then 3, then 4, and if we're lucky, 8, but 4.
Well, there is a chance that Bukayo Saka doesn't start this game, because the rumors are that he has a niggling Achilles issue that he's been nursing. It's just been on and off, and he's kind of been playing through it basically since last year. So that could be an injury concern for Arsenal. He might not... look, I'm not saying 100% he won't, but the murmurings that I'm hearing are that, this could become a wider problem for them. And I think no Bukayo Saka is a big problem for Arsenal in their title push. Do you disagree with that?
I don't disagree. I think he's vital to their title push. But in this match particularly, it doesn't matter if he misses, in my opinion. I think they'll get the 3 points comfortably.
I always talk about Demetri being a closet Arsenal fan, but maybe he's also a closet Liverpool fan because he hates Everton. Maybe it's that. Well, that concludes the Sunday fixtures. We have one more match left, and I'm excited to talk about this one. My boys, Nottingham, 2 European Cup winners. Forest, led by Odysseas Vlachodimos, who, from what I've been reading, might actually be the number 1. He might be Steve Cooper's number 1 on this Nottingham Forest team, bringing the pride back to Greece in the Premier League. Oh, I forgot to talk about Mavropanos when it came to West Ham. He's going to score a goal. Yeah, but that's West Ham and City. But anyway, Nottingham Forest, I think this is going to be an easy win for them.
I think Nottingham Forest will win 2-0 and kind of solidify or help my relegation pick in Burnley, who I had finishing 19th.
So Burnley has been struggling a lot this year, and I like to take the opportunity to listen to other, not just podcasts, but other YouTube channels and people who are fans of other teams, and a pretty popular YouTuber who also, he's big on Twitter, and he used to be a big FIFA streamer or FIFA YouTuber, Sky Vize. He is a Burnley fan, and I listened to his video about a lot of things that are going wrong with Burnley this year. And one of the big things that he mentioned, which is a very common issue that title-winning championship teams have, is they win the championship playing expansive, beautiful, attractive football, and then they try to play that again in the Premier League where the opposition is much higher quality, and they just can't. And then they don't know how to cope with it. They don't have a plan B. And that's why oftentimes what you'll see is a lot of the teams that didn't win the championship, there's outliers always, but a lot of teams that didn't win the championship, who knew how to scrape through, play defensive, play a little bit more pragmatic, often do better and are able to survive more often than not in the Premier League because they know how to play that way. They have that plan B. They accept that they have to be more pragmatic. And with Burnley, I think they broke records in the championship last year. They played beautiful footy for the championship, but they haven't seemed to be able to cope with it. They don't have a plan B, and they also don't seem to have a left back or any. They've been playing a lot of right backs at left back, and the left back is a big part of their system. They had Ian Maatson basically being a baller. He's one of their players of the season. And he was in the team of the season in the championship, and he was their star left back. Obviously, now he's at Chelsea. So, and they've been trying to replace him, and they don't really have any suitable options. They've been playing right backs. They have a not so great left back. They've tried playing there. It's more like a wing back type thing, very attacking. So Burnley have been struggling, whereas Nottingham Forest, I know I'm going to wind up talking more about Nottingham Forest versus Burnley than all the other games, which is kind of crazy. Nottingham Forest have been the opposite of, not having a plan A. They have obviously been the memes of the transfer market after Chelsea buying lots of players, but I actually love the signings that they made towards the end of the window. They flipped Brennan Johnson for almost 50 million, including add-ons, 50 million pounds, and they brought in Callum Hudson-Odoi for peanuts, 3.5 million pounds, rising to 5 million. Now, this could be my Chelsea blue-tinted glasses kicking in, but Callum Hudson-Odoi does not have the talent of a 3 million pound player. I think this will, in the next 2-3 years, be seen as extremely shrewd business by Nottingham Forest and an upgrade on Brennan Johnson. I think Brennan Johnson is good. I think that he relies a lot on his pace, whereas Callum Hudson-Odoi is a supremely talented, technical, intelligent footballer who unfortunately had his career, shattered because he ruptured his Achilles. That's a terrible injury to try to come back from. It's not easy, but he's still 22. I think it's going to be shrewd business that they brought him in. I've talked a lot about Ibrahim Sangar. I think that he's a baller. Same thing with Taiwo Awoniyi. I think he's great. They have Andre Santos from Chelsea, who I'm praying they play because they got a lot of guys. And a very underrated guy who they got from Brazil, Murillo, 21-year-old center back from Corinthians. I think that he's also going to wind up being, a great signing for them. They have Divock Origi from Milan, who I think could be a suitable, like a little attacker to come off the bench. Anthony Elanga obviously scored against Chelsea. Decent signing. And your boy, Montiel from Sevilla. Nice little player to get in. World Cup winner, has experience. I think it's a good guy to get in. I think this will be a comfortable win. I think just from how Nottingham Forest play, I'm going to go with a 4-1 win to Nottingham Forest.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have them steamrolling them, basically.
I think they're going to steamroll Burnley.
I mean, Burnley has given up the most amount of goals this year in the Prem. In 3 games, they've given up 11 goals. And to go off of what you said earlier, they have definitely failed the eye test. They have looked atrocious in all 3 games. I don't think they looked like they can win any of the 3 games they played so far. And I think it's going to be the same thing playing against Nottingham Forest. I think they're going to lose, but a little closer than you had it.
They also are last in the league for expected goals. They're a little bit better off with expected goals against, but aside from Manchester City, they haven't had that strong of a schedule, I believe. And their expected points also has them at 20th. So it ain't looking too good for Burnley, Chief. It is not looking good for Burnley. Yeah, they didn't have a crazy. They had Manchester City, Luton, Aston Villa, Tottenham. Oh, actually, that is a pretty strong run-in. But they don't look good, and I think Nottingham Forest are going to be great. I'm sticking by it. Nottingham Forest, top half of the table this year. So, yeah, I think they're steamrolling the Clarets of Burnley. So, that rounds up our predictions for the actual matches themselves. Do you have maybe anything to look out for this game week?
Anything to look out for?
Anthony's not going to play.
Well, that was a given. Let's see. I can see Brighton winning, although I did have that as a tie, if Ferguson nets 2.
If Ferguson nets 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think he continues his hot streak?
I think so. I think he's going to score. There were strong links to Manchester United this week with Evan Ferguson, although I don't see why he would go there. I could see him really making them think about what they're missing out on. So I could see Evan Ferguson scoring. I told you I could see Erling Haaland scoring. And I think if he starts in the game, Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to score for Nottingham Forest. He's going to come off the mark. £3.5 million bargain, my boy Callum. Stud. Sad it didn't work out at Chelsea, but I'm so excited to see him at Forest. So that rounds things up for our game week 5 of the Premier League. And these are our predictions. We're recording this before the game week. We'll see how we did. We should turn this into a competition. Let's see how many scores we got right for this week. We're going to keep count. So we'll let you know after this game week is over. But until next time, we're going to round things out right here. This was another episode of the Linebreaker episode 7, game week 5 predictions previews. My name is Pano.
I'm Demetri, aka Juicy.
And for now, we're out of here.